This evening on House and Home, it's Besta Mackerel Kung Fu style on Cooking with Besta. Norman is back with themes, and Bill Neal brings to you the Brian Bell segment with a difference. Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into House and Home this evening. I'm Kevin Imado, standing in for Irene Rommel, who is currently away at the moment. It's been a fantastic week last week, and an even more exciting weekend of colors as PNG celebrated its independence, which fell on the 16th, and that was just yesterday. Besides of what I've already mentioned as features on the show this evening, we have also put together a couple of highlights of independence festivities that took place over the week. But for now, let us head on over to our House and Home kitchen and see what's cooking on Cooking with Besta.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta tuna chunks in 185 grams. Packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta tuna chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
Good night everyone. Welcome and thank you for watching Cooking with Besta. For tonight's recipe, I will show you how to prepare Besta mackerel Kung Fu style. In front of me we have 1 clove of minced garlic, 1 ginger finely grated, 2 chilies sliced, 1 large onion finely sliced, tomato diced, curry leaves, our main ingredient, Besta mackerel in nature oil, our chili powder to taste, 1 teaspoon black pepper, 1 teaspoon soya sauce, and half a lime freshly squeezed. Okay viewers, I already have my oil in the pan. So what we do now, we put in our onion, fry for about a minute, add in our garlic, ginger, our curry leaf, add in our green chili, we add in our tomatoes, chili powder, our main ingredient, Besta mackerel in nature oil, for our soya sauce, our pepper to taste. Okay viewers, our Besta mackerel Kung Fu style is now ready to be served. Okay, don't forget our lime juice. And here you have it, Besta mackerel Kung Fu style. Thank you for watching and hope you join me again same time next week Cooking with Besta. It's better, it's Besta, pride of PNG.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta tuna chunks in 185 grams. Packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta tuna chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
Now that recipe certainly has a kick to it. Thank you for that, Miriam, and we look forward to another Cooking with Besta next week. We have more on House and Home after the break, so stay watching. Welcome back. I know some of you are still recovering from all the independence celebrations, and some not so exhausted and go through your day today without a hitch. Over the long weekend was also Medang Provincial Day celebrations held on Saturday at the Bisini grounds here in Port Moresby. Here are some highlights of the day.
Just a quick again, a kind reminder to those of you who are taking photographs, please do not get in the way of the dancers.
Regardless the heat we've been experiencing here in Port Moresby, everyone most certainly enjoyed themselves. We go for a quick break and return with more on Port Moresby Institute of Matriculation Studies. See you soon. Welcome, and you're watching House and Home if you just tuned in. In our first episode of PIMS, Norman gave an introduction on PIMS and spoke of current education system in the country to date and downside, and being able to cater for only a percentage of students to continue right through to the tertiary level, however, leaving a growing number of dropouts with nowhere to go. This week, Norman continues with the education system and encourages solutions to ensure that more students are not left behind and number of dropouts decrease in numbers. Here's Norman from Port Moresby Institute of Matriculation Studies.
Good evening, viewers. Once again, my name is Mr. Norman Sige, founder and director of PIMS. In this episode, we will be following up on the first episode that gives background to the massive worsening and worrying school dropout problem that we have in our country. We saw some of the abysmal and dreadful education transition statistics that indicate the difficulty in which the vast majority of our students at all levels of our education system have in finding places in higher levels of study, including tertiary studies. Going back to the two tables again that we featured on the last show on the enrollment history for the given years, as well as the transition rates. The first table shows that since independence in 1975, enrollments in our entire education system has gone from 73,294 to a staggering number of 1,569,534 as of 2010. No wonder the number of school dropouts is also staggering, because all our upper secondary and tertiary institutions combined cannot cater for such a huge enrollment number. From the dropout perspective, Table 2 figures show that currently in PNG, 40% of grade 8 students, 75% of grade 10 students, and 70% of grade 12 students miss out on selection, become school dropouts unable to transition to the next higher level of study, and basically left to fend for themselves after exiting. These terrible statistics tell us that our education system is such that the majority of our graduating secondary students are rejected or denied the access for study at our higher learning institutions each year. For PNG, these statistics are nothing short of tragic, and our country continues to lose and lag big time when year after year such a huge number of potential high achieving and contributing citizens can never have the chance to be so. School dropouts are potential future workers, leaders, decision makers, and political leaders forever lost. The progressive decrease in space at higher grades and tertiary institutions forces our education system to take on a permanent pyramid or conic structure, which, as we know, is narrow at the top. Common sense tells us that because of this entrenched pyramid structure, regardless of what we do at the lower grades, we will always lead to a large number of dropouts at the higher grades of 10 and 12. This forced and tight situation means there is always a scramble and scuffle for limited number of spaces in our higher level tertiary institutions. This gives rise to corrupt practices such as nepotism, one-talkism, cronyism, and the negative culture of bribery in all its forms. This is most unfortunate and devastating to many deserving, qualified, and eligible students. They are sidelined and have the door of life's opportunity cruelly slammed in their faces. These dropouts are not just dropouts as such, they really are victims of an education system or structure that is not capable of looking after them all the way to the end. Denying or not enabling education opportunities for such a massive number of students is really a total departure from the intent and purpose of our national goals and directive principles enshrined in our Constitution. It specifies equality and participation. We declare our second goal to be for all citizens to have an equal opportunity to participate in and benefit from the development of our country. It is sad to know that with the current trend, things may not get better anytime soon on this front. If and when the government's plan for compulsory primary and secondary education becomes a reality, then universal education for all levels up to grade 12 will be required by law, and the current pyramid structure of education will transform to a rectangular one with vertical sides. The school dropout problem still remains, though. If anything, it will get worse, since many more students will now be completing grade 12 and far too few tertiary institutions to accommodate the majority of them in time. So you, the viewers, may be asking, does Mr. Sike have any suggested solutions to this huge school dropout problem that he continues to draw attention to? Lucky for myself, I have a few. In fact, 9 in total, which I can state and you can all think about. The first one, we must build more educational institutions. This will be expensive, but we have no choice. Number 2, all existing secondary and vocational schools can consider following the Don Bosco type model of integrated curriculum of academic and skills up to grade 12. This will be less expensive because limited new infrastructure is needed in this case. And the advantage is students not selected to tertiary institutions would already have skills that can benefit them in life. Number 3, if the integrated curriculum approach cannot be taken, then the government should initiate policies and enact laws to enable all school dropouts to automatically and compulsorily transit to skills training and vocational TVET institutions. So that, in other words, no more school dropouts as such after grade 8, 10 or 12 from our education system in future, but only graduates coming out of alternate skills and vocational training institutions. Number 4, if our country cannot meet the above targets, then it should consider sponsoring en masse eligible and capable grade 12 graduates to do undergraduate studies at overseas universities and tertiary institutions. Number 5, a further option involving overseas universities and institutions would be to offer that these overseas institutions set up campuses in PNG, probably on a cost-sharing basis with our government. This may involve government-to-government dialogue and arrangements. And number 6, the government to revisit, reassess and strengthen the capacity of early childhood and primary education institutions to ensure that full, necessary and quality services is or can be provided. This will lead to a higher or much improved level of attainment for students, leading to a higher retention of students in higher levels of education, or equivalently, a much reduced probability in the number of unforced dropouts. Number 7, school dropouts must be engaged and participate in the economy. As promoted by the government and Honorable Richard Maru in the recent Medang SME Summit, it must enact legislation and policies that will create a conducive and enabling environment for small business, entrepreneurs and self-starters. This can be achieved by offering various business incentives and, through legislation, deliberately lowering the cost of running business in the country. Number 8, the government to support institutions, both public and private, that offer distance education both in general academic courses as well as skills and vocational training courses. And the last one, number 9, government to give incentives to private companies that hire young school dropouts for unpaid work or job experience. Once again, time has caught up with us, and I must end here. It can never be emphasized enough that if we do not address the school dropout problem urgently and seriously, our country will suffer in many ways sooner than we think or would like. See you all in our next episode. Till then, you all take care.
Interesting indeed, and be sure to join Norman once again for another episode of PIMS. More on House and Home after the break. We'll see you shortly. So many schools around the country celebrated in style last week and were very patriotic, representing their heritage with so much pride. Friday last week was chaotic, as most of the schools here in the nation's capital chose to celebrate the PNG independence on Friday. One school in particular was the Gordon Secondary. The students went all out, and the cultural day was magnificently displayed with full traditional bilas, known as costumes, worn by the students who performed so beautifully. Here are more highlights of the weekend's activities.
to the back and double check something to eat. There are also players displayed by financial groups. Get something to eat. Paparazzi is the ones taking photos that are standing at the entrance of the arenas. I ask you to move by the two dancers in front. And it is sung only when the dancers come to enter the arena. The dance itself is called kabel.
B&G, country belong you me. Islands na bis na island one time. Walk one time, not strong in culture belong you me. B&G, country belong you me. Islands na bis na island one time. Walk one time, not strong in culture belong you me.
After the break, we join Bill Neal for the Brian Bell segment.
Hey, hey, Mr. B.
Good evening and welcome to another Brian Bell segment on House and Home. I'm your host for the evening, Bill Neal. I'm crossing to you live from the Papua New Guinea Tourism Industry Association's event, which was held towards the end of last week here at the Gateway Hotel. Tourism in PNG has so much potential and the possible positive benefits to the country are immense. For small to medium businesses who are already involved or wanting to get involved with the tourism industry, I'm going to show you some of the products that are particularly popular with our tourist operators that we already supply. But you already know the story. If you come to Brian Bell and you're looking for a product that we don't have, we can bring it in for you. That's right, I repeat, any product that you are interested in, we can bring it in. Also, if there are products or a specific product that you didn't see on tonight's segment that you think will be particularly helpful for you, please, I urge you to head down to your nearest Brian Bell Home Center and check out our wide range there. I couldn't possibly do our range justice by bringing it here, so you head down and see what you want. You never know what you could find. Diving operators, your customers have come from overseas and are looking forward to experiencing the pristine waters and the intricate reefs that Papua New Guinea boasts. The last thing that you want is for your equipment to fail while you're on the water. Brian Bell stock. What about our ever-popular tourist attraction or team-building haven that is the Kokoda Trail? Tourism operators want equipment that they can trust, equipment that will do what they say they'll do. For example, sleeping bags that will keep you warm in different temperatures, backpacks that can carry the designated weight and survive the long journey, or tents that can protect you from the elements. Brands like Coleman and Austrail. Coleman and Austrail are the sort of brands that represent these quality-made products. Products that are built for the outdoors, but easy to store indoors. Let's go and take a look at some of the range of products that we have that can service you and your clientele's needs. Hotels accommodate tourists when they visit our country. PNG has a few world-class hotels, and in wanting to remain relevant and competitive with other hotels in the South Pacific region or in the world for that matter, in terms of providing that great experience and good service, they turn to Brian Bell. They turn to Brian Bell for all their linen, for towels, for kitchenware, crockery, utensils. Now that we have taken care of you on your outdoor adventure and also assisted in making your stay in PNG a little bit more comfortable, we'd like to give you the opportunity to remember your trip, remember your visit by purchasing one of these giftware items that you can find at the giftware department down here in Brian Bell. One day, Papua New Guinea will have a thriving tourism industry that benefits everybody. Everybody needs to play their part, and having more events like this will go a long way in improving the outside world's perception of the beautiful country that we live in. Until then, please remember that Brian Bell has all the products in assisting you to create that incredible experience for your clientele. Great products, great prices. That's Brian Bell. Sorry I couldn't do it with two hands. I'll see you next week. Good night.
Best price, best quality, guaranteed at Brian Bell.
Right on, Mr. B.
Thank you for that, Bill, and we get to join Bill next week for another segment of Brian Bell. We'll have more on House and Home in a moment, so see you soon. Welcome back. Well, we've pretty much come to the end of the show. Next week on House and Home, our Besta mom Miriam has another great recipe to cook up on Cooking with Besta. Dr. Ambi joins us for another mental health segment. BSP are back with their update of the month of September and more great quality buys over at Brian Bell with Bill Neal. Have a great week. Term 3 holidays are about to start for some schools, and the grade 10s and 12s main exams are not too far away either, so study hard. From the House and Home crew, have a great evening and hope to have you join us again next week. Good night.
Kissing Carolina is not binding. We go downtown, Rabat Report. New Guinea Islands is silly, sorry. What's up, what are you pulling? We go, we went in a day. Peace in Nicaragua, man, it's mine.
This is a Karaku outfit. The one up here is called a amare. It's only meant for girls to wear on their foreheads for a festival. And the one over here that I'm wearing is a dog teeth, and it's for bride price and special occasions. Our grasket, it's only mainly made from Karaku, and this is the type of grasket we wear and the color, and only Karakus wear this type of graskets. Well, the painting on our face, we have different little villages, and we all have different designs to our face painting.
I am representing the autonomous region of Bougainville, and here on me I'm wearing ornaments, and they are a significant part of our culture, as it is our shalmani, and it's used to settle land disputes, buy land, and pay for bride price. My grasket is mainly worn when dancing for special ceremonies or occasions such as weddings or sing-sings. And the fan here is something women use when also in special occasions. The pedal here represents our ancient form of transport from one place to another by canoe. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Tom. I'm from Gumeni in Chimbu province. I'm a mixed parentage. My stepmom's from Chimbu. The feathers on my head, it's from Bed of Paradise and Pearls. And the grasket below is bush robes. And these are kina shells, made of kina shells. And these are Casca's skin, fur.